Hello, welcome to the Horror of It All Movie Podcast, video edition. I'm Eric, and this is the last episode of my 6-episode series of my favorite Vinegar Syndromes that I have discovered and enjoy and highly recommend, as well as ones that have either come out since episode 16, which is my favorite 25 releases, or I just, as I said, discovered since then that we're already out. This has been fun. I'm definitely going to do more series like this. Not the last of Vinegar Syndrome, but no, I'm not a Vinegar Syndrome only podcast. I have the most Vinegar Syndrome episodes out of anything, but I love Vinegar Syndrome. What can I say? I mean, if I can get this right, I even have a Vinegar Syndrome tattoo. Same thing on this shirt, one of the old shirts. I love Vinegar Syndrome. I can't help it, and I'm glad to be able to do something like this. I know some people might see it, some people won't. Either way, I have fun doing it, and I definitely can't wait for the halfway to Black Friday sale. It's always like the highlight of my year whenever they have a sale, the two big sales that they have. I mean, they have a Valentine's Day sale, and that's just for porn though, but I'm talking about the halfway at Black Friday and the Black Friday sale. I'm finally going to become a subscriber. I know I mentioned it on previous episodes, but I just can't believe I'm finally able to do this. I definitely thank my wife for that. And yeah, that might sound weird to people, actually. A lot of people that are the ones that bitch about, oh, my wife can't see it. I don't have that problem, thankfully. If I even mention a release or say, oh, that's really good, I hope I can get it, or she's like, just get it now. She's that kind of wife. So shout out my wife, thank you. She's also the one that is on our ranking of the Friday the 13th franchise, which was a lot of fun. You can also find on the Horror of It All Movie Podcast channel. But yeah. Anyway, this is the last of my favorites. I will definitely be doing more favorite Vinegar Syndrome type episodes. I'm going to be doing a series that I've been thinking about at some point. It's going to be like a rewatchability type series, and obviously Vinegar Syndrome will be highlighted. So yeah, as I did on the last episode, which went okay, I realized Action USA, you can't get any more from Vinegar Syndrome, so it's a great recommendation, but not for the sale. The infamous quote unquote worst Vinegar Syndrome release, in other people's opinion, not mine, I talked about. And so it was a bit of a controversial episode, and I said I was sorry, but I'm not really sorry. If you don't like it, that's cool. I don't care. But anyway, the last one I'm going to mention on this, and I'll mention it again at the end, of course, is my favorite. Talk about the quote-unquote worst Vinegar Syndrome release that I disagree with. I'm going to be talking about my favorite Vinegar Syndrome release of all their releases of all time, all their time, however you want to say it, is in this episode. I almost feel like this is like a season finale type thing, because I'm definitely going to be doing these again. I hope people enjoy it. Please like and subscribe. So yeah, my first recommendation you can definitely get, I made sure all these, I'm pretty sure you can get all these, is one that I hemmed and hawed about, and I didn't think looked that great in the trailer, and when I finally watched it, I just must have been in that type of mood, because this movie is so no budget, bottom of the barrel type things, but it's fun. It really was a fun movie, and the song gets stuck in your head. I'm talking about Bloodsuckers from Outer Space. Yes, that's the song. So much fun. Like I said, it's a no-budget, alien, zombie-ish type movie. So good. They call it low budget, but I guess low. Obviously, you gotta have some kind of budget. But Bloodsuckers from Outer Space. This is an older release. This came out in 2018. I always think stuff came out so much longer, but they released so much great shit that it feels like it was that long ago. Unfortunately, as you see, I don't have the slipcase. I waited too long. But the synopsis is as follows. A mysterious and invisible alien presence has landed in rural Texas and has started turning the nearby townspeople into white-faced, bloodthirsty killers. Whenever I read these, I just have fun reading them. I'm not picking on it or anything, just so people... It's just my personality. I'm a fucking jackass, okay? And I have fun with it. Just have fun with life, you know? Anyway. But I digress. As the local authorities begin to investigate the strange and violent goings-on, a photographer and his girlfriend find themselves trapped in the midst of an unexpected rural bloodbath, which seeks to turn them into another pair of bloodsuckers from outer space. Vinegar Syndrome goes on to say, a low-budget, low-rent horror comedy from writer-director Glenn Coburn. Bloodsuckers from Outer Space is a gory, hey, I said it normal, is a gory and silly slice of homemade regional genre filmmaking. So this is something they put out before the whole, like, regional filmmaking type thing that's kind of like their homegrown stuff, like the box set that came out recently. I haven't got through that, but I'll probably do a video on that too. Anyway, Vinegar Syndrome presents the Blu-ray debut of this straight-to-video classic, freshly restored from its 16mm footage and filled with a whole host of newly created special features. Bloodsuckers from Outer Space that's the inside. This is the other artwork. I'll get this eventually. But yeah, man, it's so fun. I mean, as long as you don't try to take this movie seriously, I loved it. I'm sure some might not, but I recommend it personally. Special features include a commentary track from writer-director, actor Tom Myers, and cinematographer Chad D. Smith. Chad Smith. Who's that? Chili Peppers drummer? Is that who that is? Anyway, I'm kind of talking to myself. Sorry. 34 years later, a 50-minute making-of documentary, Back to Bloodsucker Town, 15-minute locations featurette, Bloody Arm Rip 101 special featurette, still gallery featuring over 100 images from the director's personal collection, versatile artwork, English subtitles. Highly recommend this. It'll be super cheap. Check out, if you haven't already, Bloodsuckers from Outer Space. Bloodsuckers from Outer Space. Had to do it again. Sorry. Okay, the next one is a mixed bag of fans. Some people don't like it. Some people find it boring. Some people really like it. I've always liked it. Big Larry Cohen fan. Is it one of his best? No. But I really like it. I am talking about Perfect Strangers. I know, just like some of these, might lose some people. Everything isn't for everybody. It's cool. I've always liked this movie. I don't find it boring. I definitely don't find it boring. And then the reverse art is basically the back of the slipcase. The inside looks like this. The art behind it, as you can see, lines up with the disc. It's the same thing. Perfect Strangers. I hope Vinegar Syndrome puts out special effects as well, which is also from Larry Cohen. It came out around the same time, because I always think of these two together. They're not together. They don't have anything to do with each other, but that was good too. I hope they do. Anyway, we'll dive right in here. Johnny, a mafia contract killer, has just completed his latest hit. However, as he's preparing to leave the scene of the crime, he notices that someone is watching. The witness turns out to be a young child, but Johnny is uncertain of how much he's seen and how much he'll be able to describe. Proceeding cautiously, he begins a dangerous seduction of the child's single mother, but soon discovers that his budding affair puts both himself and new lover in ever-increasing danger. There's a scene as I was reading that, which is a classic Larry Cohen moment, where, because he didn't get permits, as they call guerrilla filmmaking, and he filmed in New York a lot, there's a scene where he is going after the woman in broad daylight. These aren't extras, but he had to step in because there were strangers stepping in like, hey, what are you doing, whatever. So it got pretty crazy. I always found that story interesting, and it's in the movie. You can see it. I even think Larry Cohen goes in and breaks it up. I think he's in the scene, but that might be an outtake. I can't remember, but the scene itself is in the movie. Vinegar Syndrome goes on to say, a stylish neo-noir from acclaimed filmmaker Larry Cohen of the stuff God Told Me To, as they list. Fame, Chew, The Winged Serpent, so much great stuff. King Cohen is a great documentary. All the It's Alive movies. Huge Larry Cohen fan. And he wrote so much stuff too, like Maniac Cop 2, which was really fun, with Joe Bob on Friday. But yeah, I love Larry Cohen. I have for a long time, and this movie is no exception. I personally love this movie. Some people get annoyed by the kid. Like, I never understand those things. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's because I have kids and I know, some kids can be annoying. It's just how it is. But that kid doesn't bother me. You kind of feel like weird tension with the kid, because it's like, is he gonna kill the kid? Like, there is that feeling throughout the movie. But yeah, I love it. I'm glad that Vinegar Syndrome released it. Like I said, I had seen it years and years and years ago, and I hope that they release special effects. So yeah, Perfect Strangers. My third one out of my 6 on my last episode, or season finale, of my leading up to Black Friday sale, halfway to Black Friday sale, is another silly one, but I thought it was fun. Old Dracula. Cool slipcase. Not for everybody. The movie is pretty dumb, but it's fun. The inside is very similar. The cover. Yeah. Picture's the same as the disc. It's just a fun movie. It's a bit taboo for today, but taboo. So I will read the synopsis. Old Dracula. Count Dracula has converted his castle into a tawdry tourist attraction as a means of luring in unexpected visitors and draining them of their blood. But his dream is to find the perfect blood type needed to resurrect his bride, Vampira, back to the world of the undead, which is when one of the latest guests turns out to have the blood that's a perfect match. Dracula is over the moon until a lab error results in an unexpected change to his beloved vampira. She's been unintentionally transformed into a soul sister. Determined to restore his wife's original skin tone, Dracula travels to London in search of the girl responsible for the mishap, much to Vampira's dismay. Basically what they're talking about is found the right blood type, gave it to his wife, there was an error, and instead of just coming back to life, she also was black. So, might be controversial today, but keep in mind, this was in 1974. But I know some people are like, it shouldn't matter. Well, to me it kind of does. I mean, different time and all, but we're not getting political. We're just having fun here. Anyway, Vinegar Syndrome goes on to say, a creative mix of vampire film comedy and a hefty dose of social satire from acclaimed director Clive Donner of What's New Pussycat fame. Old Dracula was first released as Vampira and stars award-winning thespian David Niven of Pink Panther fame, alongside cult character actress Teresa Graves of Get Christy Love fame, featuring gothically tinged cinematography by Anthony Richmond, who was Don't Look Now and Candyman fame, cinematographer for those. Vinegar Syndrome presents this early 70s British favorite in its US Blu-ray debut in a brand new 2K restoration. Old Dracula. This will definitely be on sale. I don't know if there's still a slipcase. I feel like there might be. But don't quote me. Not much on the special features. There is one interview with the cinematographer, and other than that, that's about it. Other than the restoration, of course, which is the movie itself. Old Dracula. A lot of fun, I thought. Recommend, for sure. Okay, this next one I briefly talked about in the last episode, but I didn't say the name. It's another one of the three from director Ruben Galindo Jr. I might be butchering his name. I apologize. I am talking about Cemetery of Terror. Sedimento de Terra. His movies are a lot of fun. This is my second favorite of the three. The other one I can mention now is Don't Panic, because I couldn't mention it before, because then it would give away which one this is. Don't Panic was fun too, but it's kind of goes in that order, I think. Again, his movies are in Spanish, so be that as it will. Figure I'd put it out there. If you're not into subtitles or whatever. Yeah. So, at least I'm pretty sure it's in Spanish. I think they're all in Spanish. Anyway, sorry, talking to myself. That's the reverse art. Celerend. Cementerio del Terra. And then the reverse is the main artwork that was on the slipcase. Cemetery of Terror. Alright, Cemetery of Terror, here we go. It's Halloween night, and a group of bored teenagers decide to pull a ghastly prank as a means of getting lucky. Stealing a corpse from a local morgue and taking it to a nearby cemetery where they perform a satanic ritual in an attempt to bring it back to life. Unfortunately, they happen to choose the body of a savage serial killer who has been shot dead by police, ending a recent spat of satanically influenced murders. Unwittingly raveling the bloodthirsty sadists to the realm of the undead, the group of fun-seeking youngsters risk becoming dinner for the devil-worshipping zombie, and the only occult expert, Dr. Cardin, legendary Mexican character actor Hugo Stiglitz, could be butchering his name, I apologize, able to try and put an end to the madness. Pretty fun. As I said, I'm pretty sure this is in Spanish. This was right before they started telling you for sure if something like was dubbed or not dubbed, or just subtitles, whatever. Vinegar Syndrome goes on to say, the directing debut of Ruben Galeando Jr. of Don't Panic and Grave Robbers fame, as we know. Cemetery of Terror is easily the wildest zombie movie to ever emerge from Mexico. Filled with extra gratuitous gore effects that could feel right at home in a Fulci film, and all of the licorice plotting of a Bruno Mattei epic. Those are some bold words there, for sure. I guess I'll give it to you, but I guess, but definitely not as good as those, I don't think. Some people may disagree, and that's cool. Cemetery of Terror is a non-stop thrills and bloodshed from beginning to end. Vinegar Syndrome presents this quintessential piece of Mexican exploitation cinema on Blu-ray in a new 4K restoration of recently unearthed 35mm negative elements. There are definitely a few special features. There's a commentary with the director. There's a commentary with the Stereo Continuous, which is a very good commentary. I like that one for sure. I usually like their commentaries. There hasn't been very many that I just thought were okay or whatever. There's another interview with the director. There's a video conference with Renee Cardona. Wow. The third, which is that the same? I could be completely off base here, but I feel like I think that's the director box set that's part of the Half-Late Black Friday set. Renee Cardona. I think it is. Anyway, sorry. Cemetery of Terror. Definitely recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Also, as I said, I believe it's in Spanish, so take that as you will. Alright, we're down to the last two. I don't know what I'm doing. We're getting delirious here. Okay. This one I had to check numerous times because I swear to God that I talked about it on my first podcast about Vinegar Syndrome. And I did not. And I am talking about the infamous Norman J. Warren. Passed away recently. Sad to hear. Didn't he? I think so. Yeah. Yeah, he did. Yeah. I got his box set from Indicator. There's some releases that Vinegar Syndrome put out. I saw this movie as a kid, and it's a creepy fucking movie, man. I really like it. The only thing I didn't like about it, even though you really didn't know it at the time, so I guess it's not a huge deal, the VHS tape cover was so violent looking, and it kind of gave away a very important scene in the movie. But as a kid, I didn't know that until I saw it, so I guess it's not a huge deal. Anyway, talking about Prey. I have always loved this movie. It's one of the few that I have seen before I bought it, type of thing. I was very excited to see it. This is a bit of an older release. This is 2009. But cool slipcase. This is the art on the inside. And it's still when they did DVDs. This is the other art, if you can see that. But yeah, this is probably might be my favorite movie of his. It really was. It really might be. But a terrifying encounter of the unknown. And this is back when they wrote the synopsis on the slipcase. So I'll read it from the slipcase. Prey. An alien craft carrying a being with fox-like features has landed in the middle of rural England. After brutally murdering a young couple, the being animates himself into the body of the man he killed, adopting the name Andreas. Upon being discovered by a reclusive lesbian couple who mistake him for an injured drifter, they invite him to recover in their isolated home, unaware of his innate bloodlust. So good. Such a good movie. I don't think it's a slow burn. No, what am I trying to say? I just like it. It's a very, very, very good movie. I really love it a lot. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you can still get this. Definitely not the slipcase, though. I don't think this is out of print. Oh, it's two different things. Nope, it's not. Okay. This was... the wording was set up differently. Vinegar Syndrome goes on to say, well, ostensibly a science fiction film, Norman J. Warren's Prey is a brooding study in sexual desire and loneliness. Punctuated by shocking violence and suspense. Equal parts bloody and erotic. Vinegar Syndrome presents this masterpiece of British horror on Blu-ray in a brand new director-approved restoration for its 35mm negative, from its 35mm negative, and fully uncut for the first time since its 80s VHS release. Highly, 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 highly recommend this movie. Prey. So good. So fucking good. And it has that, which I mentioned on one of the earlier episodes of this, and I mentioned before, it kind of has that, I don't know about atmospheric, but it's not fully the trapped in the middle of nowhere claustrophobic feeling, but kind of it is in reverse, sort of, like the women are to a degree. I don't know, I'm rambling. But yeah, I highly recommend Prey. Definitely check it out. And if you haven't checked out any of Norman J. Warren's films, definitely check this out. He has, just look him up, man. He has some great movies. There's a great Indicator box set as well. I think that's out of print though, but maybe I'll find it. Okay, so my final pick that finally here. It's gone by so quickly. I hope everybody enjoys the Black Friday sale. I'll talk about that more in a second. But my favorite release ever by Vinegar Syndrome, and anybody that knows me might not be surprised by this, I have been waiting for this movie forever. I had a DVD forever, but I still watch the fuck out of it, man. And who better to do it than Vinegar Syndrome? I am talking about Fade to fucking Black. Not really called that. It's called Fade to Black. But this is one of my favorite movies of all time. If it's not in my top 10, when I talked about my top 10 favorite movies, well, I did 5 and 5. I don't know why it wouldn't be. I don't even remember if I put it or not. I'd be surprised if I didn't. If I didn't, then I love this movie so much. So much. Favorite Vinegar Syndrome release. One of the greatest movies of all time. I watched this movie when I was a kid, and I've watched it so many times since then. It's one of my most watched movies. I watched this movie so many times just because, and as you see, I bought both. I had to buy both. I was so, it just floored that it was coming out that I had to get both slipcases. Fade to Black, to me, is one of the greatest movies of all time. It's about a guy named Eric Binford, as the tagline says. Eric Binford lives for the movies. Sometimes he kills for them too. Now, it's not necessarily a slasher, but it is kind of a slasher. It's basically just about this guy, Eric Binford, who loves movies so much that he would love to make them. So he works in a film. I can't remember what it's called. They'll probably say it in the synopsis, but like a place where they store film, I think. But he gradually just descends into madness when things keep going wrong for him, and he just kills people that have done him wrong in various ways as various characters. I'm definitely doing a podcast about this movie by itself. Going to go in depth into it, so I won't go too far into it now, other than the fact of I'm just speechless about how much I love this movie that I'm trying to think of things. But people used to laugh at Eric Binford. Now with every performance, he knocks them dead. Dennis Christopher is absolutely amazing in this movie. Oh man. Okay. The synopsis for my favorite Vinegar Syndrome movie is as follows. Eric Binford lives for, and if he could have his way, in the movies. He works at a 35mm print depot, depot, as a delivery boy, but spends all of his free time watching classic films and collecting Hollywood memorabilia. That's another thing that I kind of like, not with the killing, but I'm sure people have their days, but I always felt a connection with this, not just because of the Eric thing, but not only is his name Eric, but we're so much alike with just loving movies and just, no, I'm not in movies, but or really have the desire to, but maybe, but anyway. But he spends all his free time watching classic films. I already read that, I apologize. And collecting Hollywood memorabilia. Endlessly tortured by his colleagues, Eric drifts further and further into a dream world wherein he embodies the silver screen characters he so deeply worships. However, when the teasing pushes him too far, he snaps and literally goes into character, donning the outfits of his big screen idols, and slowly but surely killing off his tormentors in outrageous recreations of his favorite film scenes. Just love this movie. Oh, dream come true right here, man. Dream come true release. Vinegar Syndrome goes on to say, a slasher that's profoundly infused with cinephilia and old Hollywood iconography, that's quite a word, from its first frame to its last. Vermin Zimmerman's Fade to Black is an often haunting examination of the terror that can occur when fantasy and reality collide. Starring Dennis Christopher of Breaking Away and the original It fame. Also, I'm so surprised I don't hear people talking about this. Granted, this is not the same world. I'm going to go a bit off on a side note, a little tangent, as Me and Adam call it when we do our episodes. But I also loved him in Fairy Tale Theater's Jack and the Beanstalk. Huge show for me growing up. And I still watch it with my kids, and I still watch it by myself. Fairy Tale Theater is so great, and I'm so surprised that I don't hear about it from anybody talk about it. I'm the Fairy Tale Theater guy, but I don't hear people talking about it. This is not horror or Vinegar Syndrome related, so I'm sorry. I digress. Alongside Mickey Rourke, and featuring cinematography of the wrestler fame and many other movies. Many other movies. Featuring cinematography by Alex Phillips Jr., who will bring me the head of Alfredo Garcia fame. Oh, the director also did Bobby Joe and the Outlaw. I accidentally skipped that. Anyway, we're coming to an end here. Fade to Black is a masterpiece of psychological horror that's making its long overdue worldwide Blu-ray debut from Vinegar Syndrome in a new 4K restoration of recently uncovered 35mm negative elements. Thank God they were found. Oh my God. But I didn't show that. This is the inside of this one. And the reverse is the same as the slipcover. Great back, too. I already showed that. But this one looks like this. And then I left the reverse for that. So it's both, but too bad they didn't have more options for covers. And then the inside is like this, pretty much the same, except I have it reversed. And the back is so cool of this slipcase. So cool. I'm just gonna say it. I'm head over heels in love with Fade to Black, and I don't care who knows it. Oh man. I didn't even forget. How can I forget? Which I didn't forget. I was just getting there. The special, the abundance and amazingness of special features. There are how many? 1, 2, 3. 3 commentaries. 3. The Dennis Christopher commentary is so fucking amazing. So amazing. When I got this release, I watched this movie itself a couple of times. I watched it with all the commentaries. Especially Dennis Christopher's is amazing. The Hysteria Continues one is pretty good as well. And then there's a historical commentary with film historian Amanda Rise and Bill Eckerman. But out of all of them, hands down, Dennis Christopher's commentary. Some of the stuff he talks about in the commentary also talks about in his featurette, but I guess that works for people who might not listen to the commentary, which would be weird to me. But anyway, Living and Dying for the Movies interview with Dennis Christopher. Amazing interview. Celluloid Heroes, an interview with executive producer Irwin Yablans. I don't know why I have trouble saying that when I know his name. Of Halloween fame, producer-wise. Taking the Hits, an interview with special effects artist Wayne. How do you say his name? Bayou Champ? Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. A Shiny Quality, an interview with actress Marcy Barkin. Experimenting with Sound, an interview with composer Craig Saffin. Finishing the Story, an interview with the editor Barbara Pokros. A Brush with Darkness, an interview with stylist. Man, they just went all out for this, man. Not only my favorite release, it's one of the greatest releases, even if it's not your favorite. Because there's just so much great stuff on it. A Brush with Darkness, an interview with stylist stylist Patricia Bunch, and an audio interview with lead actress Linda Couraged. I hate that I'm forgetting her name because she's pretty good. She's the Marilyn Monroe looking girl. But man, I cannot say enough good things, and I cannot recommend Fade to Black enough. I think this slipcase is still available. This one is sold out. Last time I looked anyway, so hopefully you'll be able to get this at the Black Friday sale. That would be awesome. There's no Vinegar Syndrome I recommend more, so I figured it'd be the best way to end this part of the series season finale. Kind of. But there's still a little bit more. My honorable mention, and I'm not going to dive deep into this because there's going to be episodes for each one of these box sets. Yes, box sets. My honorable mention this time, and believe me, these deserve to be in with all those other movies, of course. An honorable mention because I haven't finished them all, but once I do, I'm probably going to do a podcast, like 3 podcasts on these, because there's 3. But I'm talking about the Forgotten Jolly box sets. Their standard edition of this one you can get now. You can't get the box set anymore. I love their box sets. It's cool like that. There's the movies. You got Police Are Blundering in the Dark. You got The Killer is One of 13. Whoops, sorry. And Trauma. All of these are subtitled. This is in Italian, this is in Spanish, and this is in Spanish. Definitely check out these box sets. I'm pretty sure that the standard definition should be on sale during the Black Friday sale. If anybody's curious how the standard goes, I haven't seen it, but as far as I understand, instead of a box, all the discs are just in one case. Not for me. This is the second one. Such great fucking box sets, and I love the artwork. Oh, I didn't show the back of this one. The second one has Girl in Room 2A. So good. The French Sex Murders. I have not watched this one yet. And the infamous, kind of, and it's more under the radar, Italian horror, Italian giallo, My Dear Killer. I flipped that art because the main art is what's on the box with the big saw. Now, not all of these are, the Girl in Room 2A does have an English track. So does, let's see, yep. So does the French Sex Murders. I'll probably watch this one next. My Dear Killer, I was surprised, does not have a English track. If you want to watch it in English, it's in the special features in its cut form, which I realized I've only seen this movie cut. So I had to watch the Italian version because it's not cut. But it's cool that they include that. I'll go way more into detail, as I said, when I do each one of these as its own podcast. This is number 3. This will probably not be on sale. I don't know if this one's still available. If it's not, it'll probably be standard like as the other. There's some great ones in 3. We got Autopsy, which has both English and Italian. I love this movie. I even have it on vinyl from Arrow, the score. So good, man. I love that movie. Murder Mansion. That one was pretty good. That one has... It's a bit of a... It has an English track, but it has some scenes that they couldn't get for English track type thing, and it switches to what would it be? It switches to Spanish and has subtitles. But and then there's this one that doesn't actually say. I think this one is. I think this one is in its original language, but I can't see anything that says it. Anyway, Crazy Desires of a Murderer. I have not watched it. That's why I didn't know. But yeah, once I watch all these, there will definitely be another series like this about the box sets. So great. So great. Definitely pick these up if you can. This is my honorable mention that will be a future podcast because it's so much more than just an honorable mention for Forgotten Jelly. This has been a lot of fun. I'm so glad that I did them and I got him in on time. All these will be available in time for the Black Friday sale. I want to thank whoever may be watching, maybe nobody, I don't know. But all I know is I had fun. Thanks for all the support from my wife again. Honorable mention to my wife for always, not to get mushy, but always loving me and supporting my habits and my desire to collect movies, especially Vinegar Syndrome. Always telling me, go for it, get it, it's fine. And not have to be like a lot of the wives that I see in groups talking about, oh no, if my wife sees it, I'm like, so who cares? Like, but I guess that's people's problem. I did get a funny comment once. I'll say that oh, this guy probably never had sex before, so he's probably there's no wife like that. That wife doesn't exist. Okay, you just haven't met somebody like that, because I sure have. But anyway, it's not just thank you, honey. Not to get sentimental, but this has been a lot of fun. I hope everybody has fun with the sale. I know I will. I might do this again. I'll probably do this again before the Black Friday sale, for sure. Because by then, I'll have a lot more releases, and I'm going to be a subscriber. Yeah! And again, as I said on the other episodes, some of the other episodes, it's okay to have an opinion. Everybody's going to be different. Not everybody's going to be different, but a lot of people are different. Don't be a dick about it. Your opinion is not law. It's not a fact. Look at me. I love Dr. Jekyll, and I don't give a shit. I'm not being a dick. I'm just being silly. But I do love Dr. Jekyll. What can I say? I'm in the small bracket of people, if not the only person that genuinely loves that piece of shit. But anyway, check out my other episodes if you would, that go with these for other recommendations. Check out episode 16 for even 25 more recommendations that were not mentioned in these. And if you still want to check out more content, I have a bunch more episodes on my channel. I'm going to be doing many, many more coming up. Another series coming up, not just for Jelly. So, yeah. Again, I had a lot of fun. Pick up Fade to Black if you haven't yet. But yeah, all right. I'm rambling. Anyway, I just wanted to say thanks and like and subscribe if you would like to. This has been the Horror of It All movie podcast. I'm Eric. Until next time.